It was a huge and weighty-looking engineer's telephone.
Hello, Nico Collard.
Hello? It's George.
Ah, oui.
You said to call if I could help.
Have you any news for me?
You bet. I met a witness who spoke to the clown. And I know where the killer gets his suits.
No kidding. Hey, I'm impressed.
You are? Well, it wasn't easy.
Look, why don't you come here to my apartment later this afternoon?
Fine. Where do you live?
361 Rue Jarry.
Okay, I'll come over.
I was used to working alone, but I had to admit it felt good with George on the case too. But there were some things I was going to have to do alone, and fast. I needed the answers to some questions. Who was the costume killer? And why did he murder Carchon? Why did Carchon ask for me to interview him? How did he know my father? And why was my editor so scared? There was some kind of secret war going on out there, but who was on which side? One thing I did know. I wasn't going to get the answers sitting at my desk. I was beginning to hate the phone. All it brought me was bad news. My old table had seen better days. I was beginning to know how it felt. There wasn't anyone that I needed to call. There wasn't anyone. The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. The elephant on the lid was a perfect match to Carchon's. The box was one of the few things my father left me. The elephant on the lid was a perfect... It was the beautiful elephant my father had carved. It was a photograph of my father, the first one I ever took, with the first camera he ever bought me. No messages for me. It was my neighbor, the so-called psychic.
Mademoiselle Collard.
Oh, hello there. Don't tell me. and going to meet a tall, dark man.
No, I don't think so. Why would you say that?
Oh, just a wild guess.
Anyway, your cousin's female and very pretty.
What?
Your cousin from Marseille, how could you forget her so soon? She was only in your apartment yesterday.
Ah, really?
Such a charming young girl.
Isn't she? And in my apartment, you say?
She let herself in, of course. She's got a key.
Suddenly everything made sense. My apartment had been bugged. That was how Plantard knew all about my article. How did I know? Because the only cousin I have is a sweet little guy called Jean-Marc, who runs a patisserie in Le Touquet. These people were determined, which meant they were also very dangerous. I suppose she'd forgotten which apartment was mine.
Oh, Miss Collard, you're a mind reader. That's just what she said.
Oh, I bet it was. Well, I'd better be going. See what my sweet cousin's been getting up to.
Au revoir, mademoiselle.
So, where had my pretty new cousin hidden her little bug, eh? I was going to have to search everywhere. The phone was the obvious place to look for a bug, but this handset hadn't been opened for years. Besides, they would have just bugged the line. No bug, just a 20-year-old piece of gum. No messages for me. No one had hidden a bug on the machine. It was a photograph of my father. They hadn't placed the bug on the photo. The box was one of the few things my father left me, but that small metal disc underneath it in the chest was a recent addition. The box was carved by my father. It never had a key. A small, sinister-looking metal disc had been tucked under my father's box. Oh, chère cousine, you left me a little present. You shouldn't have. You don't scare me. Espèce de... The door was locked. There was a small door set into the entrance gates, but nothing to say who lived there.
The workman looked about as eager and helpful as your average road digger. Hello, could I ask you some questions?
That depends. Are you a cop?
No, I'm a journalist.
It's late, aren't you? They already took away the body.
I'm doing a follow-up on this story. Tell me, are you related to the workman I saw digging the hole?
Don't talk to me about flobage. Pah!
Okay.
He just won a fortune on the horses and he won't give me a cent.
Well, it's his money.
When he was broke, he was happy to touch me for a loan. Brothers should look after each other, he used to say. He's changed his tune, now he's brassed up.
You're doing a fine job.
Damn right I am. You should be writing about me, not that idiot that got blown up.
The heroes who pick up the pieces when disaster strikes.
Exactly.
Well, give me your best smile and maybe I'll put your picture in the article.
Oh, right. Just give me a minute to do my hair.
The police had removed the body, but nothing else looked disturbed.
A panel had been blown away, revealing a gap. From this angle, I could see that something had been lodged in the gap behind the pipes. Behind the table were some damaged pipes. Now I'd seen it in the mirror, I could make out something behind the pipes. I couldn't do anything with that. Behind the table, it was a brandy bottle. Some journalists drink on the job, not me.
Hey, what were you doing in there?
Oh, just checking the light for your photo?
Ah, of course.
Hello?
Yes.
Have the police finished with the crime scene?
What does it look like? I got orders to board up the windows, and that's what I'm doing.
So the body's been removed?
I certainly hope so, or it'll stink to high heaven when they take down these boards.
Shouldn't you check?
Are you kidding? They don't pay me enough to put up boards, let alone check for dead bodies.
Do you like this coffin?
It's the kind of thing you pick up for a couple of euros at Les Puces de Saint-Ouen.
Do you know this man?
He looks like a nasty piece of work. I had an uncle who was with the fascists, but we never talk about him.
What happened to him?
How should I know? We never talk about him.
Look at this secret message.
Very nice. But it's not secret now, is it? It's just a message.
He wouldn't be interested in a substitution cipher.
Do you know how I could get the paint out of this cloth?
What do you think this is? Household Tips Week?
Have you ever seen anything like this?
What do you think I am? A plumber?
Au revoir.
The drain pipe had been pulled from the wall. Some idiot had clearly tried to climb it. From the stench, the hole obviously led down to the sewers. There might have been clues down there, but I was relieved I didn't have a sewer key. It was the kind of ancient phone beloved of French workmen. I was surprised they still use them. I didn't need to call anyone. I needed some direction, some clue to where I should go next.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Can I ask what you're doing?
I am guarding the scene of a terrible and heinous crime.
Yeah, this statue. Tell me about it.
Au contraire, mademoiselle. This statue is a pure and visionary statement, a comment upon man's self-imposed isolation within a debased societal framework.
Not a crime, then.
The only crime you will find here is the murder of the great Monsieur Cachon.
No. How dramatic.
I know. Here in this very building, no less. It is top secret, but according to Cachon's wife, the killer was dressed as a mime. Police believe there was an accomplice, a young female journalist. Even as we speak, she is being hotly pursued up and down the land. No stone is being left unturned.
Good place to look for a journalist, officer.
We police are no fools.
Evidently. Why would a mime kill Monsieur Cachon?
He was a hired killer, I expect. Everybody knows mimes don't leave prints.
You must be quite an aficionado of modern art.
Au contraire, I adore it. In fact, I dabble myself.
Oh, really? I used to dabble myself, but I managed to quit in the end. How was Monsieur Cachon killed?
He was shot in cold blood with a gun.
Why was he dressed as a mime?
I have my own theory. Either he was mad, or he was a real mime, trying to throw us all off the scent by cunningly not wearing a disguise.
How long have you been in the police force?
All my life, mademoiselle.
It shows.
Thank you.
A bored-looking gendarme sat staring at the sculpture. It was held in place by wires. Maybe it wasn't art after all. Maybe it was a cell phone transmitter.
I would be obliged if you did not touch the art, mademoiselle.
Monsieur?
Mademoiselle?
What do you think of my elephant?
A poor piece, to be honest. Derivative, crude. Forget about.
Oh, really? I was just wondering where I should stick it.
Somewhere that doesn't get much light?
That's just what I was thinking.
I'd be crazy to show him the paper with the code. No.
Ever seen one of these?
Not since I was a boy. My father taught me how to whittle using a metal cylinder like that.
I bet that kept you quiet.
Indeed it did. I never talked to him again. He died before I finished.
Why would a mime?
He was a hired killer, I expect. Everybody knows mimes don't leave prints.
How was Monsieur Cachon?
He was shot.
Why was he?
I have my own. Or
How long?
all my.
It showed.
Thank you.
You must be quite an.
Au contraire.
Just your average modern art retaining wire. Just your average modern art retaining wire. Bonjour.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
The woman who claimed to be my cousin. Could you describe her again?
Well, she was your height, a hair lighter than yours, but otherwise she was very like you. But with impeccable manners, of course.
I bet. What do you think of this carving?
It's nice, but I wouldn't flash it around this neighborhood.
It wouldn't be sensible to let her know about Carchon. I took this stone cylinder from a safe.
Interesting. Let me give you a word of advice. If you ever want to know what is written on it, you should smear it with paint and then roll it on paper.
What?
It's a gift, mademoiselle. I never question it.
Take a look at this cloth.
It was once very beautiful. With a little work, it could make rather a nice hat.
I know. People have no respect these days, do they? What do you make of this message?
It will take you on a journey that begins where it ends. In laughter and in tears, in sadness and in joy.
You got all that from this paper?
No, it's from a song. I heard it on the radio this morning.
Au revoir.
Au revoir, mademoiselle.
My first Teddy. Never had a boyfriend as loyal as him.
You have no messages.
The artifact was like an old printer's block, covered in symbols. Rolling out the painted cylinder had given me a print of a secret message. It read, Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters, S, D, S, S, D, S, S. The photograph showed Carchon smiling happily to camera, with a background of burning huts and death.
Hello, could I ask you some questions?
Bit late.
You're doing a
Damn right.
The heroes.
Exact.
Well, give me.
Oh,
The police have.
Behind the table. Now I'd seen it in the mirror, I could make out some... Voila! The police and forensic teams had missed a vital piece of evidence. Some kind of pouch. On the pouch was the cross symbol of Carchon's organization. I was on the right track. On the pouch was the cross symbol of Carchon's organization. Inside the pouch were two items, a strange metallic artifact and a letter in some kind of code. The artifact had a sword laid across scales. There was a picture of Lady Justice on the locked panel in the room below the conciergerie. Another coded message using the same cipher system. So, Plantard was involved with Carchon. Another coded... So, another coded message using the same... Plantard. Pierre killed. Murderer must have followed trail from Arnaud and Yamada. He will come for us now. We must be vigilant. Thierry's girl broke into Pierre's safe. She worries me. Imelda. So much for Imelda's innocence. Plantard was working for her, and for Cauchon. But why did Plantard want to meet? Was it a trap? Or maybe he was in too deep and needed me to tell the story, whatever the story was. One thing was clear. It was a story worth killing for.
Hey, what about my photos?
Oh, of course. How could I forget?
Well, I'm waiting. Get your camera out.
Camera. Oh, I forgot. It broke.
Hello. They should never send a woman to do a man's job.
Well, this woman had fooled him easily enough, and found the evidence the police had missed.